Hi everybody, Lori here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun project, or should I say fantastic project, to share with you featuring the Playful Dolphins stamp set and coordinating dies. And we're going to make some dancing dolphins, some spinning dolphins. We're going to have a party. I don't know where this idea came from, but when I saw that little dolphin, I thought, what if I made a circle of dolphins and somehow I could make it a spinner card. So the dolphins were like spinning. I just had an idea and I thought, well, you never know until you give it a try. So I'm going to stamp a bunch of dolphins, probably more than I need, about at least 6 or 7. And I'm stamping them with some Copic friendly black ink. And I'm using my MISTI because a lot of times I got to stamp it twice. Stamp it twice to make it nice. And then I got to clean it. And then you got to restamp it. And I use some Scotch white cardstock. This is Hammermill white cardstock. My favorite cardstock to color with or blend with is Hammermill. For Copics, I have B00, B01, and B02. If I forget to mention a supply or an ink color, everything I'm using in this video will be linked in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. So here I'm going to color these dolphins. I did that B00 light wash on the top. Then I'm going in with the B2 just along the bottom, just a little shadow. B01 starting to fade it out. This is what I like to call the redneck Copic coloring technique. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And then I go back over with the B00, blender out. Easy peasy, dolphin squeezy. So I did that with I did 6. I think I ended up needing 7 dolphins. Then I take a C1 and just give it a little wash right on the belly. Do you call that a belly? I don't know if dolphins have bellies, but I'm calling that. And then now I know this is a little bit ridiculous, but I'm giving the dolphins a rosy cheek just because I felt like it added to the joy. And this card is all about joy. And then, okay, so I'm taking the coordinating die and going to die cut every one of these dolphins. I take them all off camera, run them through my die cut machine. And then here's where the idea of doing, it's almost like a wreath. I like to say, have a leaf, make a wreath. Well, today it's have a dolphin, have a party. Okay, I took the basic shapes circle dies. You would not believe how many times I have used these dies. And then I pulled out this pattern paper. This was part of the recent Birthday Blitz card kit, and it is Simple Stories, Fun Times, double-sided pattern paper. And look at this rainbow stripe. It's a party waiting to happen. So I cut it to an A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is going to be my background because those dolphins are cute and blue, but you put them on a rainbow background and they're ready to spin. So I'm taking 2 of those circle dies. I didn't even measure. I just took 2 that seemed right. And I made like a ring. This ring, and everything's going to be camouflage. It's going to fit back into the rainbow stripes. And so I'm going to make that same type of ring with those 2 circle dies out of some white cardstock. And I'm just going to glue those behind just to give it a little support. The pattern paper is kind of thin, and I wanted it to have a little bit more heft. So I'm using the Positively Perfect craft glue, the mini one, and gluing these pattern paper pieces onto the white die cut pieces. And this just gives them a little sturdiness. Okay, and see how they all fit back together like a puzzle piece? The stripes just match up. I'm calling this rainbow camouflage. I'm going to do one more circle the same size as that largest. So it doesn't matter what size circles. And then also these are called gliders. They are great for making spinner cards or glider cards. I'm taking another, this is the smallest little circle die in that nested circle die set, and I die cut it right in the center of this white piece. This is where I'm going to try to insert my glider. And it's like the circle was almost too small, so I'm cutting a little slit. I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to do this. This is just improvisation at this point. I actually added a little tape after this was all said and done just to cover up that little slit that I cut so it wouldn't be jagged or anything, but you just need to be able to slip in your glider. And then I glued on that pattern paper ring, and I'm gluing the back of this rainbow window paper, and I'm going to glue it to my white card base. So I have a white card base here, gluing down the rainbow stripe pattern paper. And then you have your little glider die cut. And I used a 3D foam square you could use any type of adhesive, liquid glue or maybe score tape. I just use this 3D foam square, gluing that right in the center and see how it spins. Hopefully this all works. I mean, honestly, I was just improvising. I wasn't even sure if what I was doing was going to work, but she worked. She worked. And you know what? Maybe there's a better way to do this because I'm certainly not an interactive expert. I'm a redneck Copic color and I'm a redneck interactive card maker. But hey, you got to fake it till you make it sometimes. So I'm using those 3D foam squares and just adhering the dolphins around the ring. I was thinking I did one at the top, one at the bottom. Ended up, you know how sometimes you got to fiddle and futz with the spacing? And okay, so I think I used 7 dolphins for an A2 size card. And then gluing on that ring or the circle right in the middle. Again, I used a 3D foam square. I'm going to stamp a sentiment from the Playful Dolphins. There's a few. You could do a birthday one. I did the "You Are Simply Fantastic." And I like that because it could be used for more than just a birthday. Because if it's their birthday, they're fantastic. But when it's not their birthday, they're also fantastic. And then I added some of these dewdrops all over to make it look like little drops of water were splashed. You know, the dolphins were really... You could also do glossy accents if you want to just do little dots of that around here and about. Okay, so I'm gluing those on with the Positively Perfect Craft Glue Mini and my Place and Score embellishment wand. And this card is finished. Now look how she spins. Okay, are you ready? Oh, she spins. She spins so fast, those dolphins are getting dizzy. They're getting busy and dizzy. So maybe you got a critter and you want to make a spinning card. Here's an idea to try. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. You're simply fantastic. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.